the following Saturday. Continue to make progress. It's been back and forth with both sides of the ball, and we've had mostly good days throughout the first 10 days of practice. Last Tuesday probably was our worst of the spring, but we bounced back very well today. And it was again a good, spirited, high energy, fast-paced, physical practice, and again went back and forth, and very excited about the progress that we continue to make. Again, like I tell you guys every time we meet, we've got a long way to go, but we're making progress, and little by little, things are starting to come together. Feel a lot better about where we are right now, obviously, than we did a couple of years ago. So with that, I'll go ahead and open up for questions.
Regarding the spring game, what went into Maggie Gray and Mark Scott being the guest coaches? I guess your radio guy had something to do with it.
Someone else picked them. Haas, my man Haas will take credit for that.
Your inclination right now, I know a lot of is dependent on the health of your team, but is it to run a legitimate football game this week?
No, it's not going to be a legitimate football game. It's going to be a kind of a scripted scrimmage. I mean, it's going to be a scrimmage. I mean, we're going to live tackle. It's going to be ones versus ones, but it's not going to be a traditional just put the ball at the 25 and go play back and forth. We're going to control the situations, where we put the ball, the situations that we're in, to make sure we get a good work day in all areas. We want to be able to get work in the red zone. We want to get third down work. We want to get backed up work. And sometimes we just play a game, those things don't come up, and we just can't afford to miss an opportunity to get work in those situations. So it'll be a good live scrimmage, and as long as everything goes smooth the rest of spring practice, that's the way it will be. And it'll just be offense versus defense, and the only thing that will be really different is it won't be just game-like. It'll be control of where we put the ball and where we move it for different situations.
The format's been different this spring. How's it worked out so far, starting early, taking a week off? So forth.
I mean, it's been fine. It's been a part of that many different times, and I think our players appreciate a little bit of a break. I mean, we couldn't control that. That's where spring break fell. We wanted our spring game, on the 14th, so there's more time to recover and a few weeks to work out still before finals to physically develop the guys. It's just the way it worked out to have that break. But the spring practice has been great. We've gotten a lot better, and had no complaints about what we've done.
Any further along, and any clarity in the quarterback competition?
No, there's nothing to report. You got a bunch of guys that are competing and showing up every single day to try to get better and lead the offense and make plays. And like I've said before, I like the way they work. I like the chemistry that they've got in the room, the connection they've got with Coach McNulty, and I think they're really excited about what we're doing, and they keep trying to get better every single day. There's not going to be any clarity on the quarterback position until training camp at some point, and that's just what it is. Again, some guys have really good days, and then the next day they come back and it's not so good. So nobody's like taking off and running with it, so to speak. It's just a group of guys that continue to work together and push each other, and that's what it is.
Is there anyone who, at any position, who has maybe shown you more this spring than maybe you were expecting coming in?
Oh boy, that's a good question. I mean, we've talked about Bo Melton. I'll just think offensively, Bo Melton's done a great job. Travis Vokalak has done an outstanding job this spring. Again, I can't sit here and say they've done more than what I expected, because the expectations were pretty high of those guys, of themselves, and us as a staff of them. But those two guys have really jumped out. Offensive line. Raekwon O'Neal's done a really nice job as a true freshman here early. We've talked about the quarterbacks. Both freshman quarterbacks have done a good job. Defensively, Brendan Tavera has really come on at linebacker and done a great job here this spring. CJ Onechi. Again, I hate to point out any individuals like that, because I'm going to leave somebody out. But there's been a lot of individual players that have done a great job this spring. We just need more. And the depth, like I've mentioned before, continues to be a concern. But I do think just about every player has made some sort of progress. Some huge, some small, but everyone's made some progress.
When you look at Bo, just in hindsight, what do you think was his biggest setback to being more effective?
True freshman. Going to college, playing college football is not easy. And he had an injury that hurt him. Hurt his opportunities to practice on days, and that stunted his growth and progress last fall. But it's really just about being a freshman. You hit a freshman wall with academics and football practice and tutors and workouts and all the things that go into being a freshman. It was overwhelming, and some guys can handle it better than others. And Good thing is that he fought through it and came out on the other end a lot better, and is having a great spring and knows how to manage all of that right now.
We've asked you a lot about Bo, but what have you seen out of some of the other receivers? Hyatt, Javi, Wormley?
Wormley's done fine. Javi's had an ankle sprain, so he's kind of been limited. He's been out there practicing. He's been limited. Eddie Lewis has been out there doing some good things. Shameen Jones has probably been the surprise of the groups. Shameen is, in my opinion, probably has had one of the best spring practices of anybody on the team. Coming out of a redshirt year, he needed a redshirt year to develop physically. He's bigger and stronger. He competes every day. He shows up with a smile on his face every day. Really pleased with his progress. And like I said, I think he's probably had one of the best springs of anyone on the team right now.
The running back, what have you seen out of them? Any separation?
It's great competition. We've got 4 or 5 guys that are out there getting reps, whether it be with the 1s and the 2s. Jonathan Hillman's done a great job. Trey Sneed has been around here for a couple of years. Is practicing hard, big, strong, physical kid. Blackshear has picked up right where he left off last fall. He's had a really productive spring. We're doing a lot of things with him. I think our offensive staff has done a great job of getting 2 tailbacks on the field in different packages a lot. That'll hopefully create some problems and matchup issues for guys. It gets some of our better players, on the field. Isaiah Pacheco, a true freshman that came in early, has done a great job. Really like where he's at. I mean, he looks like a third-year player physically right now. 205 pounds, running hard. He's got to learn his assignment still, but he's a physical kid that I really like right now. You talk about guys that have surprised me. He's probably surprised me.
How much has a year of prep school benefited a kid like Eddie Lewis?
Quite a bit. He's a lot more mature right now, more serious about football. All the things that go into be a college freshman, he's gone through it. He's moved away from home, lived in a dorm, went to college classes, went to college football. All of those things that typical freshmen go through, he went through them before he ever got here. So he's just a more mature player right now and understands what the expectations are.
Has anybody stepped in at right guard yet?
Our whole interior line right now is a work in progress. It's going to be that way for a while. Kamal Seymour has been out with a surgery. He had surgery the other day on a groin thing. He'll be fine. He's walking around and out of practice. He just can't practice right now, but he'll be fine. Short-term deal. So the whole right side, but really our guards and centers, we've been rotating quite a bit. Jonah Jackson's been in there at guard and at center. Mike Maetti's been in there at center. We moved Mike Lonsdorf to left guard to get some work. But it's not just the right guard spot. It's both guard spots in the center and trying to find the right mix on the inside.
Billy Taylor, kind of a unique story. I think he arrived on August 12th, which was late.
You know better than me. But
that's what he said. He said he was on his way to Canada for a family trip when Billy called him.
Going to fish, and I called him to practice. Probably, what is this?
Yeah, exactly. But what did he prove in your eyes? I know he gets down there to the tackle after your long snaps, but how was he able to kind of take a stranglehold on that?
Well, I can tell you, he sure didn't impress us with his tackling ability. That wasn't what it was. It was really he was the most consistent with his snaps. The guy's just unflappable. They put him in a lot of tough situations and tried to rattle him and see how he would respond, and he just became the most consistent snapper that we had. Good velocity, great accuracy on the snaps, and tremendous consistency. And that's really what allowed him to take over and be our short and long snapper last year. And the fact that he does have a little bit of ability to run down on the punt team and at least get in guys' way, is an added benefit to his skill set. But I love Billy. Billy's, I think, an outstanding snapper, and he's had a great spring for us, and hopefully he continues to build on what he did last fall.
Coach, there's a tension that goes into the spring game next week, obviously, but you're also having some letter winners come back for events the Friday before and then the day of the spring game. So just how important is it to continue to keep them involved in the program as well?
We want former letter winners around here as much as we can. I look at this, I'm the head coach, but this isn't my program, it's their program. It's the former players. They've put a lot of sweat and equity into this program, and a lot of them were a part of some very successful teams and eras, and we want those guys back, as much as possible. It's their team, it's the players' team, and it's their program, and the more they can come back to be around our players, to talk to our players, educate our players on what they went through to build this thing up the way it was, we can't do enough of it. And I'm hoping we have a great turnout here for the spring game, letter winners event on Friday and Saturday. It's not even just about that weekend. We want to come back as much as we can. And we have a lot of them that have come back through spring practice to visit and watch practice and things like that. But I think it's kind of cool when a group of them can get together like that and share stories and memories and all that stuff about Rutgers football. So looking forward to it, and hopefully it's a great turnout.
When you have guest coaches like Maggie Gray and Bart Scott, how much coaching are they doing? Are they?
They better come prepared because we're going to let them call a lot of plays. You know, I think Haas told them that we needed a playbook to look at before, what is it, next Thursday?
Yeah.
We needed to proof it and make sure it was all good, you know, because we're going to be on TV and we don't want to show any of our plays to Texas State or Ohio State and Buffalo and Kansas, the first 4 teams. So, you know, they're going to come with a whole different playbook.
Do you watch those spring games? Do you guys take that tape? I mean,
Of like
Texas State, yeah.
Texas State, Kansas.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you're getting ready to play an opening game, and it's an opportunity to look at personnel and evaluate, you know, things you see. Sometimes you don't see a whole lot, you know, because everyone has a different approach and philosophy to a spring game. But absolutely, I'm going to watch it. It's televised, TV copy of it, and look at it.
Final question?